Previously on Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, I'm a boy. I'm a very boyish, manly man. What's that boy's name? Lionel? Yeah, I'm Lionel. Okay, we can still call me Lilith though. And now, back to the story. Hi everybody. My name is Lilith Saga. I am a writer, Succubus, and PNGtuber. And today we're going to be continuing on from where we left off on Doki Doki Literature Club. Let's see, last time we met the four girls. Sayori, our childhood friend, who is adorable as ever. Natsuki, who writes very cute poems and is totally a weeaboo like us. Yuri, who has a passion for writing, with a very strong vocabulary and timid nature that is utterly adorable. All these girls are adorable. And of course, Monica. Don't really know what to say about Monica yet. She hasn't done anything wrong yet, but I respect her for being able to come up with a literature club like this. So, not much I can say about that. Anyways, this is gonna be like our third day in the club. We finished up writing a poem, and we're probably gonna go and read it to people in the club again. So, let's hopefully nothing bad happens. Nothing bad's happened so far, so this is all just gonna be normal. Another day passes, and it's time for the club meeting already. I've gotten a little more comfortable here over the past couple days. Entering the club room, the usual scene greets me. Hi, Lilith. Yo, Sayori. Looks like you're in a good mood today. I'm just still not used to being in the club, that's all. I see. That's a pretty simple thing to get you in a good mood. But I guess it's always the simple things with you anyway. Speaking of which, I'm kinda hungry. Will you come with me to buy a snack? No thanks. What? No, I want to buy a snack. Maybe I'm hungry, okay? Yeah? That's not like you at all. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, how dare this human that is me turn down food? What? I have my reasons. What are we up to? Why don't we take a look at your purse, Sayori? Eh? Why is that all of a sudden? Oh, she was trying to make us pay for her food. I see how it is. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have minded, but still. No reason, really. I just wanted to look at it. Sayori nervously retrieves her coin purse. She fumbles with the latch and gets it open. Then, she turns it upside down and lets its contents spill onto the desk. Only 2 small coins fall out. I knew it. I can see right through you, Sayori. That's not fair. How did you even know? It's simple. If you had enough money in the first place, you would have bought a snack before coming to the club room. So, either you're not hungry and want an excuse to take a walk, or you plan to conveniently forget that you spent all your money so that I would lend you some. But there's one more thing. You're always hungry! And so, that only leaves the one option. I give up. Don't make me feel guilty. If you feel guilty, that means you deserve to feel guilty. Yuri suddenly giggles. Eh? I didn't notice that she was listening in. Her face is in her book, as always. I wasn't listening or anything. Sure you weren't. It was just something in my book. Yuri? Tell Lilith to let me borrow some money. Don't get me involved like that, Sayori. Besides, You should only buy what you can responsibly afford. And frankly, after pulling a mischievous little stunt like that, your suffering is fair enough retribution. Ooh, dang, she laying down the law. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot which one was reading. And I just... I didn't mean that. No, let her have it, let her have it. She kind of needs it. You know, guilty being guilty and all that. I got too absorbed into my book. I really like when you speak your mind, Yuri. It doesn't happen much, but it's a fun side of you. There's no way you could think that. You were right, though. I did something bad, and now I had to accept the revolution. Retribution. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Still, coming from you, Sayori, I guess there's a little devil inside all of us, isn't there? Don't let her fool you. Sayori knows exactly what she's doing. She's been manipulating this entire time. No, that's Monica. No, she... Nah, Sayori... At least her devilness is adorable. I can't resist. After all, she just told you guys she was bringing me to the club before she even told me. But you wouldn't have come in if it were for the cupcakes. So I had to trick Natsuki into making them. Come on, give me more credit than that, Sayori. No, I clearly wanted to go for the cupcakes, obviously. Out of nowhere, something smacks Sayori in the face and tumbles onto the desk. Ow. What was... A cookie? Sure enough, it's a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. Sayori glances around. Is this a miracle? Are cookies raining from the sky? It's because I paid my restitution! Retribution. Actually, that one almost worked. Of course, it was Natsuki. I was just gonna give it to you. But then I heard you blab about the cupcakes. It was totally worth seeing your reaction, though. Natsuki! That was so nice of you. I'm so happy. Sayori hugs the cookie. Why don't you hug Natsuki? Jeez, just eat it. Sayori rapidly tears open the wrapper and takes a big bite. So good! Sayori suddenly clasps her hands over her mouth. I bit my tongue. You're going through a lot over just one cookie. Natsuki takes a bite of her own cookie. Yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez. Beggars can't be choosers. But yours is chocolate. Yeah? Why do you think I gave you that one? What flavor is that one? Fine. Still, I'm really happy that you shared this one with me. Sayori gets out of her seat and goes behind Natsuki, then wraps her arms around her. Jeez. I get it. Cookie still in hand, Natsuki reaches up to nudge Sayori off of her. It's like she's training a dog. Sayori suddenly leans down and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie. Hey! Did you seriously just do that? Mouthful, Sayori trots away to safety. This is so adorable. Yuri and I laugh as well. Geez, you're such a kid sometimes, says the kid. Monica, can you tell Sayori? Natsuki glances around. Monica is in the club room. Ugh. Where's Monica anyway? Good question. Have any of you heard anything about her being late today? Not me. Yeah, I haven't either. That's a bit unusual. I hope she's okay. Of course she's okay. She probably just had something to do today. She's pretty popular after all. Eh? You don't think she has a... I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably more desirable than all of us combined. I wouldn't say that. I think all three of you combined way outshine her. I mean, well, to be fair, we don't know a whole lot about Monika yet. She's kind of mysterious with an M. But, I mean, like I said, Yuri's adorable, Sayori's adorable, Natsuki is adorable. You guys are definitely winning in the cuteness factor, so... That's true. Excuse me? Suddenly, the door swings open. Sorry, I'm super sorry. Ah, there you are. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys weren't worried or anything. Eh? Monika chose the club over her boyfriend after all? You're so strong-willed. Boyfriend? What on earth are you talking about? Monika quizzically glances at me. Why at me? Never mind that. What held you up anyway? Well, my last period today was study hall. To be honest, I kind of just lost track of time. That makes no sense, though. You would have heard the bell ring at least. I must not have heard it since I was practicing piano. Okay, I never had much study halls growing up, but we definitely weren't allowed to practice piano in them. I mean, unless we were like some kind of like musical major or whatnot. Isn't she just kind of just a A student? I don't know if she was like... Well, I mean, she's definitely on the side of the arts, you can tell that much, but... I don't know. Like I said, I know very limited knowledge of how school system works in this, other than just the clubs thing. But, oh well. Doesn't matter. Piano? I wasn't aware you played music as well, Monika. I don't, really. I kind of just started recently. I've always wanted to learn piano. That's so cool! You should play something for us, Monika. Wait, you should play something for us, Monika? That's... Monika looks at me. Why are you looking at me? Maybe once I get a little bit better, I will. Yay! I love Sayori's yays. I know I said that last time, but I'm not going to stop saying it. That sounds cool. I'd also look forward to it. Is that so? In that case, I won't let you down, Lilith. Monika smiles sweetly. I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that. Don't worry. I've been practicing a whole lot recently. And I'd really love the chance to share once I'm ready. I see. In that case, best of luck. Thanks. So, I didn't miss anything, did I? No, not really. I choose to leave out Sayori's mischievous escapade. I'm sure Natsuki will end up complaining to her anyway. Looks like everyone has already settled down. Sayori somehow already finished her entire cookie. Yuri's back to her book, and Natsuki disappeared into the closet. What is with Natsuki in the closet? Is she trying to tell us something? I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I think this is the result of our poem from last time. I think we got more Yuri options than the other two girls. So, Yuri time! My favorite. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. This is something right out of a, like, a shoujo drama romance anime. That only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. Wait, if I was focused, I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. So she wasn't focused? Oh! But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Ah, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about anyways? Yeah, I kind of want to know. She did mention earlier some kind of like short story. Kind of. It wasn't too long. But that just means packed full of awesomeness, right? Well... Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships and her life starts to fall apart. That's pretty intense, honestly. I mean, I have a lot of questions, honestly. It's kind of dark, isn't it? Oh yeah, I guess it could be considered dark too. Sorry, I guess I'm just used to that. Yuri made a sound like it was going to be a nice story, so the dark turn came from nowhere. Who said it was going to be a nice story? Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Lilith? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri's into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals, or their own philosophy that they believe in. Yes! Oh my god, I love her so much. I mean, those are my kind of favorite kind of like, it's the anti-heroes in a way, but necessarily, I mean, I feel like anti-heroes is just kind of just become the general for villains nowadays, because, I mean, villains just used to be like bad people who did bad things, but with psychology and philosophy kind of like make it becoming more mainstream. You get to learn more about like different kinds of motives that villains have. So villains are kind of like the hero of their own story a lot of times, or they have their own reasons for doing things, and it's really interesting to try and figure out those kind of things. So my god, she brings out so much of the bookworm in me. She's a girl after my own heart. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Girl, I just rambled a second ago. You got nothing to worry about. Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. No, please tell me more. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. Aww. She just like me for real, for real. So, I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please, stop me if I start talking too much. No, I will not stop you. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Did you forget it was a literature club? Well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. Why is the main character that we're playing as such a flirt? I mean, yes, he's surrounded by these 4 beautiful girls, but like, he seems to like teasing them a lot. Or maybe they're just easily teasable. Which I'm the same way, so I'm kind of like, I'm also just kind of like, I don't appreciate it, but at the same time, like, it is kind of fun. Being like, talked to, I guess. But anyways. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Oh, I bet we'll be distracting. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. It was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? Oh my god, she's me! Yuri is me! I do? I definitely do. I apologize for existing. So, if anyone can beat that. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm, on the right side of the book. That way, I turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a little bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? Aw, look at this smile. I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. This is so cute. Oh my god. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Oh. Yes. This is like the writing equivalent to like that scene in Ghost where Patrick Swayze is helping with like the pottery or whatnot. This is the writing equivalent, or reading equivalent, I suppose. And I am all for it. Damn, I wish I could do that with somebody. Hey Yuri, this might be a little silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she's also second guesses all of the things that she says and does. Like, she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Aww. Yuri remained silent for a moment. But, Lilith, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. Yeah. Nobody wants to be known for second guessing, so I don't think it's a... Well, I mean, second guessing's not bad in, like, preventing you from doing, like, bad things, I guess, but most of the time, most people just tend to go with their gut. So I don't know. It's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait! I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry. I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I meant that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Oh, that was Yuri. Anyways, Monica's here to cock block. Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not that. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Ouch! Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. So who should I show my poem to first? I think I'm going to go in the same order as last time. Yuri, Natsuki, Sayori, and then Monica. Because I don't know, I think that fits. I think it works fine. So let's go to a best girl. Well, best girl number 1. Let's see what you've written for today. Yuri stares at the poem with a surprised expression on her face. Do you like it? Lilith, how did you pick up on this so quickly? Just yesterday, I was telling you the kind of techniques worth practicing. Maybe that's why. You did a good job of explaining. I really wanted to try giving it more imagery. Yuri visibly swallows. Even her hands appear sweaty. I'm not used to this. Used to what? I don't know. It's fine, take your time. Yuri breathes and collects her thoughts. I know that Yuri likes to think before she speaks, so I offered that patience to her. Yeah, just being appreciated like this, I guess. It probably sounds really stupid, but seeing someone motivated by my writing, it just makes me really happy. Are you saying you've never shared your writing before? Yuri nods. Aww, precious baby, no. I'm glad she got to share it with us. Her writing's really good. Really? I don't believe it. I really only write for myself. And besides, people would just laugh at me. Do you really think that? Again, Yuri nods. Huh. Even your close friends. Yuri doesn't respond to that. I wonder why. Anyway, do you want to share the poem you wrote today? Yeah, I do. If it's with you. Oh, this one's a bit longer. Okay. The raccoon. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences. Well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom. The bread, my hungry curiosity. The raccoon, an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off of my cutting knife. The very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited. Or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. That raccoon has taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood, classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread, and I feed myself again. Aww. So on the surface, it's a story about feeding bread to a raccoon and just being happy about it, but hold on, what did she say earlier? The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was a symptom. Bread, my hungry curiosity, and the raccoon, an urge. So she's feeding her curiosity to an urge by slicing it open with the symptom. So this is a poem about, like, giving into one's, like, urges despite it being maybe scary, but still wanting to go forward, maybe? Also, raccoons are cute. Again, the raccoon probably isn't actually, like, what the story is about, but, I mean, still, for, like, on the surface or whatnot, if you still want to just think this is a story about just a raccoon, then cute! I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. I mean, I'm just guessing at it. I don't really know myself, but that's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style. Using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean. Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way it feels for me to indulge in my more unusual hobbies. It's those sort of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself. So I sometimes enjoy writing about them. Why do you keep them to yourself? Because she's scared. They're embarrassing. And people would make fun of me. Don't you have anything like that, Lilith? Well, yeah, I guess I do. I feel like everyone has a little something like that. The best we can do is respect each other and our individualities. Even if it's difficult sometimes, and some things make us uncomfortable. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad that you're a good listener. Aww, that was sweet. And also, we were right. It was about her, like, just giving curiosity and giving into her urges to do different things. Aw, that was nice. Alright. Natsuki, what's up? Well, it's not really any worse than your last one. I can't really say it's any better either. Phew. Huh? Phew? What? Ah, well, anything that isn't a train wreck, I'll take it as a win. I feel that. And I get the feeling you're probably the most critical. Wait, oh wait, no, I'm saying that to her. And I get the feeling you're probably the most critical. Hey! What makes you... Wait, maybe that was a compliment. Aha! Glad to see someone recognizes my experience. Well then, keep practicing and maybe you'll be as good as me someday. That's, something tells me Natsuki completely missed the point. Come to think of it, this kind of reminds me of Sayori's poem from yesterday. Eh? You think so? Yeah, well, I guess if you've been friends with her for so long, you might be on the same wavelength. You never really struck me as her type. Sayori has a type all of a sudden? Well, I don't know. But honestly, how can someone so fluffy spend so much time with someone like you? It's like she's dragging around a dead weight. Calling me a dead? Listen, I'm alive. I'm just part of, like, the underworld where people assume everything is dead. Ugh, that was a little unnecessary. But think of it this way. If it weren't for me, she would probably just fly away like letting go of a balloon. You could say we take care of each other in our own way. Whatever it is, I don't get it. Oh yeah, I guess I'm supposed to show you my poem. Here. Oh, this one's also long. Oh jeez. Man, I bet my poem was really short. Okay, Amy likes spiders. It starts with, you know what I hear about Amy. Now I'm just thinking of, like, the song If You Seek Amy. But I'm getting too ahead of myself. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders. Icky, wriggly, hairy, ugly spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. But she likes spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. One time, I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me up and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a lot of friends. I always see her talking to people. She probably talks about spiders. What if her friends start to like spiders too? That's why I'm not friends with her. Doesn't matter if she has other hobbies. Doesn't matter if she keeps it private. It doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt anyone. It's gross. She's gross. The world is better off without spider lovers. Now I'm gonna tell everyone. Is this just a long vendetta against spiders? Also, I was really expecting this, like, turn around to be like, yeah, I'm not friends with her. I'm not friends with her. Okay, maybe I love her or something. I mean, you know, if you talk about someone enough, like, to an annoying degree where you know every single detail about them, is it really called hate at that point? Well, I mean, it's still... I guess it depends on what kind of perspective you have, but yeah. So, I mean, all in all, I hate spiders too, so yeah. Spider haters unite, I guess? Although any spider VTubers and PNGtubers out there, I still love you. I just don't know what to do with all your legs. Okay, moving back into it. Not bad, right? It's quite a bit longer than yesterday's. Yesterday's was way too short. was just warming up. Hope you didn't think that was the best I could do. No, of course not. Anyway, the message is pretty straightforward in this poem. I doubt I have to explain it. Sometimes you can explain complicated issues with much simpler analogies. It helps people realize how stupid they're being. Like, anyone would agree that the subject of this poem is an ignorant jerk. Do you know people like that? Of course, it's about how everyone thinks That doesn't matter. It can be about anything. I'd want it to be easy to relate to. Everyone has some kind of weird hobby or a guilty pleasure. Something that you're afraid if people found out they'll make fun of you or think less of you. But that just makes people stupid. Who cares what someone likes as long as they're not hurting anyone and makes them happy? I think people really need to learn to respect others for liking weird things. Huh, that's funny. Yuri wrote about something similar today. Huh? Did you say Yuri? Yep. She said her poem was about an unusual hobby of hers. I didn't really get it, but she said something similar to you. That people shouldn't make each other feel insecure about those things. Really? Well, I mean, Yuri's pretty weird, so I wouldn't doubt that she has some weird hobbies. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's not like I would judge her or anything. Natsuki has trouble finding words. I guess I should try not to be so mean to her. She feels insecure about her weird behaviors and stuff. I mean, I always hate people who make me feel insecure. And Yuri made me feel insecure yesterday. But the way you put it, sounds like she's learned her lesson. Well, I would say so. Even if her writing style is really different, I'm sure she'll appreciate the message in your poem. It's what I do best, after all. I don't like writing unless there's a good message to take away from it. Like, conveying emotions is important. But I want to make people think, not just feel. Yeah. I mean, feeling's good and all, but sometimes I just don't want to feel anything. I just want to just kind of think about... Stop feeling and start thinking about things. I don't know how to explain it, but I can appreciate what Natsuki's trying to do here, is what I'm saying. Remember that. I'm gonna write a good one for tomorrow too, so look forward to it. Alright, will do. Alright, Sayori, let's see what you got. Ooh, I like this one, Lilith. It has some nice feeling in it. Ah, I'm glad. Still though, your tone makes it sound like you like yesterday's poem better. I guess you caught me. Sometimes you know me a little too well for my own good. Well, don't just try to be nice about it. If I'm doing a bad job, then I'd rather just hear it. No. I still like this one, I promise. You know, I wouldn't lie to you, Lilith. Never, ever. Yeah, I guess so. What made yesterday's poem so great compared to this one, then? Well, I'm not very good at figuring out if poems are good or bad. But that's why I just go by my heart. If it makes me feel things, then it must be a good poem. I'm not sure that's exactly how it works. Then again, I guess conveying feelings is a pretty important part of this whole thing. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I don't even know what kind of writing you like in the first place. It does seem to be all over the place. Yeah. Me neither. Why don't you at least try giving it some thought? Aw, you want to write something for me? That's so sweet. Yeah, right. But you're always thinking about other people. You need to think about yourself once in a while. If you don't, you might end up getting hurt at some point. Eh? Well, I don't really know what you mean, but I'll try to keep it in mind. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's see. I guess I like happy poems. Wait, sometimes I like sad poems too. Sometimes a little bit of both. There's a word for that, right? What's the word I'm looking for? Bittersweet. Aw, yeah. I like things that are happy and things that are sad. Happy and sad? I can't see you liking something sad, Sayori. Well, I like happy the most. But sometimes when you have a little rain cloud in your head, a sad poem can give the rain cloud a little hug. Aww. I love the way that was said. That was so cute. And also such a big mood. Like, Yuri might be like the embodiment of me, but Sayori is also just best girl. And make a nice happy rainbow. Aww. Sayori, that's unexpectedly poetic. It is? Maybe I'm getting better at expressing my feelings after all. Thanks, Lilith. I should go write that down then. I can read my poem now, okay? This one's also long. Okay, it's about bottles. Hopefully this isn't written right early in the morning. But, okay. I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's a secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine all rubbing together like a bundle of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger and pluck one out. It's warm and tingly. But there's no time to waste. I put it in a bottle to keep it safe. I put the bottle on the shelf with all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts and bottles all in a row. My collection makes me lots of friends. Each bottle, a starlight to make amends. Sometimes our friend feels a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friends after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go. Like exploring a dark cave, discovering the secrets hiding in the nooks and crannies. Digging and digging, scraping and scraping. I blow dust off my bottle caps. It doesn't feel like time elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends look through my locked front door. Finally, all done. I open up and in come my friends. In they come in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? I frankly pull them from the shelf, one after the other. Hold them out to each and every friend. Each and every bottle. But every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts and shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be for my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something. But all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. Aww. This just seems like she's like trying to like please everybody with like all the jars of happiness, but then when she tries to give away that happiness and whatnot, and then all the bottles break, and then her friends get mad at her, and then she just goes into despair. It's actually really sad. Aww. I want to give her a hug. Holy crap. Sayori, did you really write this? Of course I did. Didn't I tell you yesterday I was gonna write the best poem ever? Yeah, but I mean, I didn't expect something like this coming from you. Monica taught me a whole lot. And I've been really in touch with my feelings recently. Well, I can see that. Sayori, are you okay? It's almost kind of creepy. Creepy? Well, not exactly. Maybe because I'm so used to you being cheerful. Well, never mind. I'm thinking too hard about it. Point is, it came out good, so you should be proud of it. Aw, thanks. I feel like I was meant to express myself this way. It even helps me understand my own feelings a little bit better. Writing is like magic. Aw, it sure is. Now I want to try, maybe I should do some like poem writing for videos, like going over different like poem types, or even just like, I don't have many of my own poems to share, because again, most of them are just like rhyming random stuff, but I think that might be fun. I think I should do more poetry writing, definitely. You've gotten pretty passionate about this, huh? I hope you keep it up. Yeah! Writing's the best. I'm gonna keep writing until I die. Aww, me too. Sayori, I love you. I don't know who I love more, Sayori or Yuri. They're both just adorable in their own way, and it makes my heart melt in their own way. Don't get ahead of yourself. Sayori's always had a habit of getting obsessed with something before dropping it no more than a week later. Oh, that's also a mood. I wonder if this is one of those times. But seeing the passion in her eyes makes it hard for me to be pessimistic. Alright, last but not least, let's go to Monica. What do you got for us here?
Hi again, Lilith. How's the writing going?
Alright, I guess.
I'll take that. As long as it's not going bad. I'm happy that you're applying yourself. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece.
I wouldn't count on that.
You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today?
Sure, here you go. I give my poem to Monica.
Alright. Great job, Lilith. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess I worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism? Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though.
I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet.
Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. But anyway, you want to read my poem now? I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too.
Alright, let's take a look. Oh, save me. The colors, they won't stop. Bright, beautiful colors. Flashing, expanding, piercing. Red, green, blue. An endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms. Squeaking, screeching, piercing. Sine, cosine, tangent. Like playing a chalkboard on a turntable. Like playing a vinyl on a piece of crust. An endless poem of meaningless. Is there anything? Load me? What is this supposed to be a clue of some sort? Why is there this long pause here? Save me. Load me. Is she trying to say we're in a video game? See, the colors, they won't stop. Bright, beautiful colors. Flashing, expanding, piercing. Red, green, blue. An endless cacophony of meaningless noise. I mean, you could say that's kind of like the title screen, I guess, with all the bright colors and the red, green, blue in the logo. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms, squeaking, screeching, piercing, sine, cosine, tangent, like playing a chalkboard on a turntable, like playing a vinyl on a pizza crust, an endless poem of meaningless. Or this is just a bunch of bullshit trying to scare us. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just a meaningless poem, just trying to evoke emotion. Yeah, just trying to get a rise out of us. It's even more abstract than your last one, huh?
I guess it's just the way I write. I'm sorry if you don't like it.
No, I never said that. It's just kind of thing I've never really seen before, I guess.
I kind of like playing with my space on the paper. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of the poem. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise.
I see. It's so hard for me to tell what it's about, though.
Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract as a physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with the reader. So putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day.
Alright, here we go. Tip number 2, let's go.
Sometimes you'll find yourself facing a difficult decision. When that happens, don't forget to save your game.
Is this the fourth wall breaking thing that I heard about? Are you gonna elaborate on this?
You never know when you might change your mind, or when something unexpected may happen.
Wait, is this tip even about writing?
What am I even talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? I have something extra planned today, so everyone could come sit at the front of the room.
Is this about the festival?
Well, sort of.
Ugh, do we really have to do something for that festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members.
That's a concern of mine as well. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations. Don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? We don't need much more than a few decorations. Sayori has been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event.
Okay, that's great and all. That doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event.
Ah, sorry. I thought you heard about it already. We're going to be performing.
Performing?
Monica. Yeah, we're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the events. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite poems too. Sayori's putting it all on posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time.
Sayori, who's been coloring a poster, holds it up for us to see. Are you kidding me, Monica? You didn't already start putting those posters up, did you?
Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea?
Well, no. It's not a bad idea. But I didn't sign up for this, you know. There's no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group of people like that.
I agree with Natsuki. I could never in my life do something like that.
Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear.
Guys? No, Sayori. I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. Guess I kind of overlooked that. So, I'm sorry. But I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about.
Yeah! It's all about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, finding new horizons, and having fun.
That's right. And it's those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others? To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place? I know you do. I know we all do. And if all it takes is standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it.
Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayori looks worried. Guess that leaves me no choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think that Sayori and Monica have been trying really hard to get new members. The least we can do is help them out a little bit.
Oh, maybe, but Looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left. Okay, fine. I guess I'll just have to get it over with. Alright! Whew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri? Yuri dejectedly glances around everyone else's expectant faces. I guess I don't really have a choice. That's everyone! You're the best, Yuri! This club is seriously going to be the death of me. Oh gosh. You'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway, let's move on to the main event. I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other. No way! Monica, this is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? Oh no. Don't worry. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little bit more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course. Now, let's see. Monica flips through her notebook to the specific poem she has in mind for herself. She then stands behind the podium. The title of this poem is The Way They Fly. Ahem. Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. More than that, her inflection is pristine. She knows exactly how to apply emotion behind each line she recites, bringing the words to life. Is this something she's done before, or is she simply a natural? I glance around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monica. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't really understand. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. 4 of us applaud. Monica takes a breath and smiles. That was so good, Monica! Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? I'll go next. What? Yuri's all fired up all of a sudden. Yuri clutches a sheet of paper between her hands and stands up. Keeping her head down, she walks quickly over to the podium. This poem is called... Yuri anxiously glances at each of us. You can do it, Yuri! It's called After Image of a Crimson Eye. Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. Just a moment ago, she practically refused to do this. Why is she suddenly putting in so much effort? As Yuri gets past the first couple of lines, her voice changes. It's almost like what happens when Yuri gets absorbed into her books. Her quivering words transform into the sharp syllables of a fierce and confident woman. Hell yeah, we love confident woman. The poem is full of twists and turns in its structure that she enunciates with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, nope, we're not doing that. And glances around her, as if she bewildered even herself. It's up to me to save the situation. I'm the first one to start applauding. Everyone joins me afterward, and we give Yuri the recognition she deserves. It's not that we didn't want to applaud for her, but we were caught so off guard that we must have forgotten. As we applaud, Yuri holds the poem to her chest and rushes back into her seat. Yuri, that was really good. Thank you for sharing. Yuri looks like Yuri is down for the count. Okay, I guess I'm next then. Sayori hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks up to the podium. This one's called My Meadow. Ah! Sorry, I giggled. Sayori! It's a lot harder than I thought. How did you guys do it so easily? Try not to think of it like you're reciting to other people. Imagine you're reciting it to yourself, like in front of a mirror or in your own head. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way. I see. Okay then. Sayori begins her poem. Somehow, it feels like her soft voice was made as a perfect match. The poem isn't aimlessly cheery like Sayori is. It's serene and bittersweet. If I were to read this on paper, I probably wouldn't think much of it. But hearing it come from Sayori's voice almost gives it a whole new meaning. Maybe this is what Sayori meant when she said she likes my poems. It's like I get to reach more deeply into someone I thought I knew through and through. Sayori finishes and we applaud.
I did it!
Good job, Sayori!
Even Lilith liked it. Of course I liked it. I guess that's a good sign. What does that even mean?
It came out nicely, Sayori. The atmosphere of the poem fits you really nicely. But it might be that other poems wouldn't work quite as well with that kind of delivery.
I don't really understand.
In other words, I've seen poems of yours where that sort of gentle delivery wouldn't work as well. They might need a little more force behind them, depending on what you're reading.
Oh, I know what you mean. Well, I've been practicing that kind of thing. It's just embarrassing to do in front of everyone.
The next time, I'm going to make you pick a poem that challenges you a little more. We don't have much time before the festival, you know?
Okay!
Now, who's next? Natsuki?
Don't make me go before Lilith. It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Lilith lower everyone's standards a little before I have to do it.
Yeah, I'll feed into her ego if that's what it takes.
Natsuki.
It's fine. I might as well get it over with. It's not like I have much of a selection of what to read. I just have to go with one I wrote for today. Stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eye on me, making me feel terribly awkward. Doing great at reciting this poem, but I recite my poem. Since I'm not exactly confident in my own writing, it's hard to put energy into it. Despite that, once I finish, I receive applause anyway. Sorry, I'm not really as good as everyone else. Don't worry about it so much. I think it's less about your abilities and more about your lack of confidence in your writing. That's something that will improve over time, though. Yeah, maybe. Alright then. That just leaves you, Natsuki.
Yeah. I'm going.
Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium.
Poem is called... Why are you looking at me? Why? Stop looking at me! Ah!
Because you're presenting.
Anyway, the poem is called Jump.
Natsuki takes a breath. When she starts reciting the poem, her sour attitude disappears a little. While she's still a little unenthused, her poem has a rhythm and rhyme to it. It's Natsuki's trademark style, and it works surprisingly well when she's spoken aloud. The words feel like they bounce up and down as if giving life to the poem. Natsuki finishes, and everyone applauds. She hops back to her seat. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Easy for you to say.
You better not make me do that again. Well... Do you at least feel prepared enough to recite a poem in front of other people?
I mean, doing it in front of other people will be way easier. I can put on whatever face I want for other people. But when it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing. That's a surprise, Natsuki. I think it would be the other way around for me. Well, that's just how it is, so...
Well, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about for the festival. That said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. It might be hard, but I hope you all have an idea of what it's like now. Make sure you pick a poem and get enough practice before the festival, okay? I'll be making pamphlets, so let me know ahead of time what you'll be reciting. Jeez, I should probably find some other poems to recite instead. That's fine too. Doesn't have to be your own. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting in all this effort for the club. It makes me really happy. Yeah, no problem. Okay, everyone. I think that's about it for today. I know the festival is coming up, but let's try to write poems for tomorrow as well. It's been working out really nicely so far, so I'd like to continue that. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. I can't wait! I can do this. I can do this.
Alright. I stand up. There's no way I'll be able to find the same enthusiasm as Sayori and Monica, but I'll do my best to get through it. If it's for the sake of the club and impressing Monica, then I'll have to do my best.
Ready to go?
Wait, ready to go, Sayori?
Yep. Look at you two, always going home together like that. It's kind of adorable, isn't it?
Jeez, guys. Don't make me such a big deal out of it.
It must be a little nice, though.
Well? How am I supposed to respond to that?
It's okay, Lilith. You don't have to say it.
Whatever, let's go already. I walk home with Sayori once more. Even though it's only been a few days, a lot of things have already changed. But today, Sayori's being a little quieter than usual on the way home. Hey, Sayori?
Sorry, I was spacing out.
Ah, no wonder.
I was thinking about something from earlier. I like how we get to...
Sayori fumbles with her words.
So, let's just say that one day Yuri asked to walk home with you.
Huh?
What would you do?
What kind of question is that? You jealous or something? Kind of putting me on the spot here. I kind of like just walking home with Sayori. And it's convenient because we live near each other, I guess. So, yeah, I'd still walk home with Sayori. Sayori? You really think I would ditch you for Yuri?
Eh? But, she's so beautiful and smart.
I mean, she is, but geez. I already see her in the club every day. Besides, you always seem to like going home together. I wouldn't just ruin that for you.
You're so silly, Lilith. You think about me too much sometimes. Yuri would deserve it if she wanted it, so...
Sayori, I've already made up my mind. I really can't figure you out sometimes.
Sorry.
Besides, what's the point in speculating something that's never going to happen? Eh? Conversation trails off. It's kind of a weird thing for Sayori to care so much about. But I want to respect her and keep her happy too. Then again, festival's only a few days away. Who knows what will happen in that time? That's kind of ominous. Hey, it's the mini game. Well, this is for the poem for next day, but honestly, to be real with you all, my voice is kind of getting tired. I didn't sleep so well last night. So I think, I'm pretty sure I can save on these empty slots. Okay, yeah. I can. Okay, good. Okay, for some reason, the first time I did it, I thought I couldn't, but of course I can. Why couldn't I? Also, there are so many numbers here. Jesus. Maybe I'm a little concerned about how many, well, it just means you can play it over and over again. So yeah. I think that's gonna be it for now. I have some stuff I need to do, but this was pretty fun. Like I said, if this is just gonna be just cute girls reciting poems, planning for a festival, like already, it's been 3 days since I recorded between this episode and the first episode. So, this is really pumping me up, I gotta say. It's really nice to have, a story that involves a lot of writing and storytelling, and I really still don't get the whole psychological horror. I mean, what, just Monica breaking the fourth wall? Is that all? Is that it? Is that all that really happens? Other than that, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong, so I think it's gonna be fun, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So, that's about it from me. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch me play Doki Doki Literature Club. If you want to follow for more, go ahead and do so. I need to remind myself to actually ask that, even though I kind of hate asking for that. But yeah, so subscribe if you want, or don't. It doesn't matter. Love you guys. I am going to go do some stuff. Thank you for taking time to watch this today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye!